Good afternoon. Welcome to this Zoom session. We are at 3 minutes to start.
Hi, mister.
Hello. Here are the rules. I'm gonna share my screen right now.
Okay.
Please keep in my next rules.
Message in the chat. Okay.
Important for me, please. Okay, this space we have is for your questions. I'm so sorry if you don't follow instructions, cannot be part of the meeting. Okay. I'm saying because many students uh, are not following the instruction. I think where you found the link, it says that you have to identify yourself. Yeah, thank you. You can remove that lines you did. Thank you. Okay, we will start in 2 minutes. This is not a time of class. Again, this is just time we need right now to attend your questions. So here are the rules. Read the rules, please. Okay. One Lance, I think you have a question. Can we write in decimal form? What do you want to write in decimal form? This is space for your question. So if you have a question, do it, please. Do it in here. The answer of what specifically, sir? Not clear. What's your question? Of one equation of an exercise, the answer. Um, you can say a file in here. I'm not sure about what you're saying. Not sure about what you're saying. One. I mean, the questions are related with these topics, okay? The graphs, the topic about the graph of sine, the topic about the graph of tangent, which is gonna be next one. Probably you have some questions. So what's your question specifically, sir? Thank you. You're using the chat for the questions. This how it's gonna be. We're gonna use the chat every time for the questions. And here we go. So how we transform fractions into decimals. You want to do that with, if you want to do that with radians, with these values, if you want to do this with these values, work with these ones in decimals, I think you didn't pay attention on the class that I explained that this work always like fractions. They never gonna work with like decimals. They will work every time like fractions. So, but answering your question, there's one way you can do it. Your calculator, gonna show you right now with my um, with my video, but I think you will not like get it every clear. Here's your calculator, okay, the one we were using, and you can write over there, for example, 5 over 12. You can write it like 5, the bottom, the fraction bottom, which is this one. We'll have an L like to the other side, 12, and that's equal like this, like a fraction, and like a decimal, just push the button ABC again, and you have a decimal. Of course, you will not see decimal in that thing you're doing. So you will see fractions, just fractions. Okay, any other question? Any other questions? Send it in the, send it by the chat, please. Okay, I have a Rentex Vegas calculator. Can you, okay? If you know how to use it, yes, yes, excellent. If it gives you different answer, is because you're working decimal. There's a button to convert decimals into fractions. I think in yours probably is an S, then an arrow, and an A, something like that. Okay, wait, there's a big question here. Do you remember when we were doing the graph? In a moment, you told us, look, what's the common denominator of multiple of those, what's 12, and that we need to count everything in pi 12. For what is that? Okay, for what is that? Good afternoon, I think, Antonio. So for what is that? Nice question. For what's gonna be useful, that thing of look for the common denominator. It's gonna be useful later when we study the topic of trigonometric transformation. So nice question. Gonna explain you this again. So I'm gonna write some values here and you're gonna help me to do this analysis and conclude, because that's a good question, I think, about how can you conclude or get or know better, the word know, how to divide the pies in how many parts. So I'm gonna write here 3 pi units or 3 different pies. What about, sorry. What about next one? What about pi not over 12? I'm gonna write pi over, let me see, pi over 4. Or better, pi over 3. And what about pi over 5? I think it's already covered the space. I mean, okay. So you have to pray a lot, sir. Sorry. Here again, with Jocelyn question. Here, she asked me for what that's useful. Later on, when we study trigonometric transformations, we will have exercises that request uh, a division of the x-axis of the Cartesian plane in pi units. For example, suppose you get some values like this, pi over 3 and pi over 5. How you gonna get these values? Okay, it's like I think it's not, it's like I'm gonna spoil it, what's gonna happen later in class. That's gonna be like this. I mean, later we will study that not always the values of the unitary circle are the ones that will be useful in order to make the graph of sine, cosine, tangent, and the other three functions. Probably we will use more values, and of course, it's not the, I mean, exists values like pi 12, for example, that is not in the unitary circle. Values like pi fifth, that is not in the unitary circle. But probably in the analysis you do, comparing the values you already know of the trigonometric shapes and the unitary circle, you will get something like this. Guys, this is the space for questions. So I'm attending these questions. For what this is useful? Okay, it's useful to know how to separate the pi units. So in how many parts you will separate pi if you want to work both units at the same time? I mean, you want to see in this division pi thirds and pi fifth at the same time. So you have to look for a common denominator, which in this case will be 15. And you have to divide this in pi 15. And by that way, in one moment, you will see pi thirds, and then you will see pi fifth. Okay, is now clear for what's gonna be useful? Did I answer your question? Is now clear? Yes, Elisa, okay, any other question? Thank you. I think that's HSH. So please, if you will not speak, you can mute your, thank you. Okay, there's another. So we need to look the common denominator for both out of the x value appear. Yes, practically this is what we're gonna do. Now, from where those values will come, maybe that's another question. From where pi thirds and from where pi fifth will come, from a analysis we will do later. That's part of another topic. Is something we will see later, but keep in mind that if those denominators are not common, for example, do you think that if I have in here pi 6, do we have to look for a common denominator, or you already see what's the common denominator they can have, a common multiple they have between 3 and 6? The common multiple cannot be 18. It's practically 6 because 3 is involved in here. I mean, at the moment you divide this in pi 6, then you will see a pi thirds over there. Is it clear? It's not clear? Okay, let's see what happened with pi 6. I'm saying, because, okay, thank you. Thank you. I love you too. I miss you too. I miss you too. So here, I'm saying, what's the common denominator between pi 6 and pi thirds is pi 6. Why? Because if I start to count pi 6 by pi 6 in one moment, don't know when, but I will see that value. I'm gonna do it in here to show you how is this. So here is pi 6. If you remember, continue the counting on. Next value will be 2 pi 6, which can be simplified. Then we're going to simplify it. So next value will be 3 pi 6. Next value will be 4 pi 6. So is someone in the meeting that is not part of the class? What's the name? Tell me what's the name. I will like take him or her out. Because if it's not part of the class, I don't want that same situation that happened last time happens again. Antonio Sierra, you're sure? Okay, thank you. Okay, use the chat for the question, please. You can chat like this in WhatsApp right now is for your questions. Okay, attending the question that Jocelyn asked me, I was saying, what happened if I wanna see pi thirds and pi six at the same time in a division in the Cartesian plane? You have to look for a common denominator. In this case, the common denominator was pi six. Reason is because you can divide this by pi 6, and in a determinate moment, pi thirds will be there. And that's what we want. When's gonna be useful? Then it's gonna be useful at the moment we see the topic of trigonometric transformations. Try to be punctual, please. More questions? More questions? No. Okay. So I think you can help me here. If you see here is the count in pi 6, 1 by 1, but this can be simplified. And I was asking you, is it possible to get like a division in pi's that gets you or shows you pi thirds and pi 6? Yes. If you divide everything in pi 6, then you're going to see pi thirds over there. I think you can see it in here. The half of 2, okay, is 1. And the half of 6 is 3. There is pi thirds. And if you see in that list, which is something that then will be here, of course, just dividing this in 6 parts, you will see the pi thirds. So something just to help you, because I think many people here feel like not clear. 3 over 6 simplified is pi or 1/2. 4 over 6 simplified is 2 over 3. And the last two values, I think, already simplified just that one, which becomes to be just pi. Okay. Don't know if now it's clear the question. Also, I saw that you put in the homework in the platform. We can answer right now, or we need to. No, you don't need any class. You can answer it right now. It's very easy. Homework it's in here. Let me see if I have it over there. Yes, I have it here. That one is the homework. It's remember that you're gonna have homework 1 this week. There he is. If you want to see it, it's already on the platform. It's a match. Here you just have to write the letter of the answer, just like for example, G, F, whatever. Okay, just the letter. And very simple. I mean, you have to read as well what happened here, see the graphs, remember what happened in the presentations, and write the answers very quickly, very easy. You can do it right now. I think 5 seconds, 5 minutes, you can solve it. For when it is, okay, sir, here you have to read. Look. Every time you have to read. Any other question? Yeah, it look easy, but send it, please, and send it on time. I mean, I'm doing these works for you to make it like very quickly. Okay, any other question? Sorry, I lose the idea. I was saying here that you can make this division. If you see here, both values that we want to see appears now. What happens if we have something like that? 3, 7. What about 2? What happens if I want to see these 3 pi's in the 3 different pi's in the Cartesian plane? What's going to be the common denominator? Can you get the common denominator they have? Or who can tell me? Send it in the chat. What's gonna be like the common denominator in here? Is it 14? If you say 14, if you say 12, okay, look. If you say 12, you're not involving the 7. If you think 14, you're not involving the 3. So here, it's 28. No. The common denominator they have, or you can see, 17. Okay, why you're doing to get those values? Look for a common, what's the word? The least common multiple of 3, 7, and 2. Practically, that's what I'm asking for. 28. 28 is not multiple of 3. It's not 17. You're tripping. Okay. Nice for you. Common denominator they have is no. I think it's 42. It's 42, I think. Okay, why? Can you see something in common between 3 and 2, 3 and 7? Are they multiples one another? No, they are not multiples one another. So what about 3 and 2? They are not multiples. What about 7 and 2? When I say multiple, I'm saying, yeah, with 42. 42 is going to be the answer, and I'm explaining why. There are multiples one another, so the only exit that we have is look for the multiplication or the product they make. By that way, you will gonna be sure that this is the common multiple they have. Now, what happens if instead of 7 we have 18, for example, and here we have 6, just to show you much better why. What about 3, 18, and 6? What could be like the common denominator we can see over here? Like look for the least common multiple. If you don't remember how to get the least common multiple, you're gonna look for it. 36, yeah, can be divided in 36, but it's not the least. I mean, if you divide this in 36, you're gonna do a lot of work. Okay, let's see this better. Let's see this easier. What happened if we have 9, 3, 9, and 6? Okay, if you say 18 for the last one, where in here I have 18, you're totally right. Why is 18? Why is 18 the least common multiple of these 3 values? Because 3 multiplied by what? By 6 gives you 18. 6 multiplied by 3 gives you 18. Come on, this is about the least common multiple. The LCM is something you already know. If you use 27, then you will not see pi 18s over there. So how can you get that is very easy. And normally it just consider 2 values. You don't consider more than 2. We will see that later. But right now it's a good question because I think many people's like not clear at all why we have to divide the pi like this. You can see a video. You can see the video of what I was explaining because I start with this question. It was a nice question, that one. So any other question or this question still not be answered? That was the question. That's a good question. Okay. Common multiple. Yes, everything is about common multiple. What about if here instead of have 3 and 18, I have 3 and what about 7? Can we multiply something by 3 to get 7? No. Can we multiply something by 7 to get 3? No. Common multiple is going to be Uh-huh. Yes. 21. You get it. Simple like that. It's just get the common multiple they have. Yeah, in this case, multiply one and another. What happened if in here, instead of pi thirds, we have pi fourth, and here we have pi over 10. Is there a way to convert 4 into 10 or 10 into 4? I don't think so. If you think in 40, okay, it's not just about multiply. Be careful. I think it's 20. You're totally right. It's gonna be 20. And again, what's 20? No, 21, no. What's 20? The least common multiple. If you don't remember how to do the least common multiple right now, a little review. 4, I'm gonna use a table, just wait. Okay, we're missing like 7 minutes. Gonna review how to get the common multiple. That's something you're supposed to already know. You're a 10th grader. See you, Fernando. Have a nice trip. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try to do my best with this. Now remember, I think you remember, you're gonna remember this, doing the little lines and everything, but look, what's gonna be the common denominator between 4 and 10? So you write 4, then you write 10. So if you remember, the way to solve this was like um, doing a line, don't remember. Honestly, it doesn't have a name in math. Doing something like this, the line, and you write the 4 and the 10. Don't know if you did this procedure in the school. And then you start to get like the half. Okay, do we have a half in 10? Or does it 10 have a half? 5, 5, okay, yes. Both have a half. So the half they have is 2, and here is 5. Now, we have to look for the common denominator. In this case, 2 have a half. We can still get in a half. The half of 2 is 1, and 5 still be there. So I think you already remember about what's this topic. I mean, this thing I'm trying to review right now. You get it or not? Then you have 5 as a multiple, and then you get 1 in here. So what is the common multiple between those numbers? 2 times 2 times 5, which is 20. Do you remember this? Yes. So this is the way you can be sure 100% to get the common multiple of those. And what does it mean? It means to get pi fourths and pi tenths in that division of pi, I have to divide this in pi 20. So I have to start with 1 pi 20, 2 pi 23, pi 20s, and so on until pi. This is gonna be useful later. So good and nice question. Any other? Now I think you're totally clear. Any other question related with this? Oh guys, oh my God, times run very quickly. Are missing 4 minutes. So something that we can solve in 4 minutes. Any other question? Okay, if there's no any question, I'm gonna use these 4 minutes to share with you right now this result of the result of this homework. I like this homework and some others, of course. Oops, sorry. And this is the final result of the cosine graph. I'm saying because many students didn't respect the separation in here, okay? And that's why at the end, the shape of cosine, the first cycle of cosine is like that. And again, first cycle of cosine moves between 0 and 2 pi like the first cycle of sine. This is very interesting. For example, understand that cosine reaches maximum and reaches minimum like sine, differently than tangent. So this is something we're gonna study in next class more with tangent because sine and cosine behaves very similar. Those jobs are very nice, so congratulations for the guys who did it. And I like those work. Very good, nicely done. That's what I was expecting. You respect a lot the division of pi 12s, and you respect a lot the division in the y-axis. I mean, if you divide here like in 10 centimeters, so in 1/2, which is the half, you graph the 5th centimeter, and so on. So this is something that many students didn't respect, but at the end, I was asking you just for the shape of cosine, which is this curve like a U in this type of letter, forgot the word, in cursive letter, okay? Okay, any other question? Nope. So all that I have for you today, guys, are missing 2 minutes. If you see, it's very interesting, this topic, and it's gonna be useful later in physics. I think next year, when you study or you study the description of the movement of the sound, for example, you will see how this is useful in this specific moment. Right now, I wanna give you the tools to understand that much better. So, no, guys, thank you. Thank you a lot for your time. Thank you a lot for giving me a little bit of this time you have with your family. Until what day we can start sending the homework? Until what? Until Saturday. Saturday is the last day you have to send me this. You can send it today if you already finished. You can send it tomorrow if you want to do it for tomorrow. So thank you guys for your time and bye bye. Thank you. Take care.